Hello friends, Lee here from TableTop Bong. Thanks for joining me. In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm doing to get huge hybrid rips using an Injector ball vape. I've been asked in the comments a number of times if I could just take a few minutes and show you guys in a video exactly how you can get those really big hybrid rips while using an Injector ball vape. Typically when you put an Injector ball vape into your bowl, you know, the heat sits way up here. So you're not really going to do a lot in the way of a heat soak down here in the bowl to get you the really, really big hybrid rips that you need from getting some heat down here in the bowl. So the question is, how can we do that? What can we do to get those huge, huge hybrid rips? And trust me, I love the hybrid rips. So I've been playing around with this. I pulled out a few different Injector ball vapes. I'm going to show you guys a couple of different things, you know, and I'll show you specifically with the different ball vapes exactly what happens, right? So I just thought this would be a fun one. I'm going to end up having a bunch of bowls back to back here that are going to be really hard hitting. So this one should be fun. All right, so let's start with what can we do if we just have a glass Injector bowl like this, and we're going to use any one of these ball vapes. So today, just in the demonstration, I'm going to use, this is the wireless ball vape from Cannabis Hardware. This is the Zen Leaf Whisper, it's called, and that's the male Injector head. Then I have the Taroma Light Plus Injector from Karoma Shop, and the Freight Train Pro from Old Head Trading Company. So I thought what I would do is, because we have a few different ones, you know, there's different ways that you can arrive at the same thing depending on which ball vape you have. But let's start with what can you do regardless of which Injector you have, as long as you have an Injector ball vape, how can you get the biggest rip using a typical glass Injector bowl? Well, let's load this up and I'm going to show you exactly what the move is. And then I'll tell you why you would do this and why you shouldn't do this. Because you know what? The should and shouldn't, or why would you want to do this and maybe why you shouldn't do this, it all kind of works together. So let's talk about this for a minute. What we want to do, I've played around with this a number of different ways, but the easiest way to do this is just to heat this bowl up. Quite honestly, you can heat the bowl up so that when the Injector head goes in here, the bowl isn't going to eat a lot of the heat right out of the Injector to start with, or when you start to wash the heat down, you know, the convection heat coming through this bowl, the glass and everything around it is absorbing some of that heat, slowing your vaporizing process and creating that lag time, right? That is very typical with an Injector ball vape. There's always that lag time when you first hit it. So what I'm going to show you is how to get rid of that altogether and to get the biggest, meanest, fattest rip that you're going to get with an Injector ball vape. So, okay, why don't we'll just start, you know what, I'll just do it all three of them real quick. Oh, why not? This ought to be fun. So I'm going to grab a big ass torch like this, but you can do it with a smaller torch with a smaller flame, you know, like this, or even a little one like this. It'll just take a little bit longer. I'm going to go with something like this, because that will happen very quickly then, won't it? And I have this this ball vape running at 575 on the PID. I have the Taroma Light Plus running at 550, and I have the Freight Train Pro running at 600. And 25, that's right. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on to the bottom of this. I'm gonna take this flame and I'm gonna slam it right onto the side of this bowl, and I'm gonna rotate it. And I'm gonna pay close attention to what's happening right up here. Okay, because what's gonna happen at some point, and it won't take long, 5-7 seconds maybe, I've never actually timed it. I just watch for the visible sign. I'm gonna see a little bit of vapor, just a tiny bit, start to lift off of there. I want to stop exactly right then, because I'm moving it like this when I'm heating it. There's vapor that will be coming off of it that I won't notice right away. So when I do notice it, it's actually coming off thicker than it appears. So I take the heat away right away and then drop it right into the TableTop Bong. This is the not yet released Cloud TableTop Bong in 500 mil size. And I have a heady glass hand blown stem in here. So I'm gonna just drop it right in here. Then I'm gonna grab the injector head and I'm gonna drop it in, and you're gonna see how little lag time there is when I rip on this thing, okay? And you're gonna see how dense the vapor is. It's a very, very smoke-like, okay? So let's get in and do that. And I'm gonna just go boom, boom, boom through the 3 ball vapes back to back. We'll rip them all like this, and then I'll show you some other fun stuff too. So I'm just gonna turn this like this and watch for that first puff of vapor. There we go, see that? Now it's a little more vapor than it looked like. Drop this in right away so everything is nice and hot. Cheers. That was fast, eh? It's an insane amount of vapor off of one rip. I'm putting about 0.1 to 0.12 of a gram when I'm loading the injector bowl. That's what I'm doing. So now you just have to bear in mind that this is going to be a little bit hotter than normal, right? So you have to manage it from the bottom. Wow, that was a hard hitting rip. Okay, so woo. Let me load that back up and we'll do the next ball vape and I'll just show you. See how fast that was though, eh? Like so fast to vapor. It's crazy fast. All right, I'm gonna heat this up and then we'll do the Taroma Light Plus the exact same way, and you can see the results are very consistent from ball vape to ball vape when you just take a second to heat that up. Cheers. And you can see that's a super dark roast. Really, really hard hitting. And all it takes with your injector vape is just, you know, that short period of time with a quick rotation and heating it. And then you get that type of a reaction. I have to give that 1 second. Whew. Those two back to back, because that's something, my friends. That hits so hard. All right, so next is going to be the Freight Train Pro. So that one won't. I was going to say it won't hit that hard. Of course it will. And you can just see when I begin to draw on it how quick to vapor. And that's really what this is about, right? This is seeing how quick to vapor it is, because what that tells you is there's enough heat in the glass in the bowl that it's holding it right on that edge of vaporization. So the minute you add draw, pressure, and any additional heat, you're instantly right into that vaporization process. And it gives you a super dark, complete roast very, very quickly in one good rip. So we'll just go ahead and do this for the Freight Train Pro and watch how quickly, there we go, just like that. That's all it takes to change this whole experience. Cheers. Okay, so why would you want to do this and why wouldn't you want to do this? These are fair questions because this is a pretty crazy amount of vapor and it hits unbelievably hard. Okay, and that's the thing, like this is really unlocking all of the potential of a ball vape when you get this hybrid hit, right? You get this conduction and convection together. It hits so hard, it just slams you. Like 3 bowls in and I'm like, all right, so if you want to do this another way, here's a completely different way to do it, which is super fun as well. And this is also a way that you can use a ball vape to microdose, okay? And it just depends on what you have in your collection. I have a few things in my collection. So for instance, this is the Torpedo from the Rogue Waxworks. So if you take the heat cap off and you look at this piece, I just slide these down to the bottom, get them right out of the way. So then this becomes a bowl that you can actually fit right inside. And let me tell you what, you drop a little bit of weed in here and you feed that inside one of these injector heads like this, okay? You're gonna be able to microdose and get a really crazy effect. Now, what if you want the big hybrid effect? How are you gonna get that? Well, let me show you. I'll do it and you'll see what's up with this. So I'm just gonna load this with the straw method. It seems to be the easiest method. All right. So I'm trying not to load this like crazy tight, right? I want it to have some nice airflow in it. So then I'm just going to take my torch and I'm just going to heat this glass up a little bit on the outside, just like we did with the bowl. Okay, this isn't going to take much. I'm going to drop it in here and I'll grab one of these injectors and drop it right on and watch what happens. Like, we're not using very much weed in here and that's really loosely packed. So you're going to get one massive rip off this, especially if you just go ahead and heat this bowl up a little bit. And again, you just got to watch for any vapor. There was a first sign of it and I stopped immediately. Put that in. We'll just grab this. It's wireless. Cheers. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. So the flame around the glass got the whole process started, and then the heat just finished it off from the air and the heat coming through the injector head. Just finishes that right off for those really, see how thick that rip was, right? How fast to vapor that was. And that will work the same. You know, using, say, this Torpedo, it will work the same with basically any of these ball vapes, even the Freight Train Pro. So, like, straight across the board, you could do that trick with this. You know, there's also the quartz cap and the Terpsicle from the Rogue Waxworks as well that you can do the same thing with. So you just remove the cap and use the stem. And another fun one, this is the Danny Fusion 2. You can take the cap off of it and you can use this bolt. Well, here, I'll just show you how this works. So again, I'm gonna load this with a straw method. I like to keep this as a nice loose pack when I'm using these injector heads like this. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my torch and I'm just gonna heat around here until I see any sign of vapor. And I'm just kind of rotating it back and forth so I'm not heating in one spot. Watch, and there's the first sign of it. So you can see how quickly we get to this point where it begins to vaporize. Okay, yeah, we can use this one. Why not? Will it reach it? Cheers. Wow. At the beginning of that draw, I didn't have the the injector. I had it sort of sitting on a bit of an angle, and I had to get it straight, and so it took a second. There was a little bit of lag time, but that was user error. That wasn't actually the lag time of the device. But you hit a ball vape as many times as I have back to back like this, and guess what? User error is probably inevitable. All right. So yeah, definitely. Okay. Why would you want to do this? Well, obviously you can see there's a super stony effect that goes along with these really high temperature hybrid rips. So what that means though is if you're already tired and you're hitting some indica, it's going to be lights out. Like this is going to give you the most maximum slam of whatever strain you're having at the time. If you're on a straight sativa that can, give you a touch of paranoia and you start ripping a number of these back to back like this, you're going to feel the extreme effect of what's possible, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So just bear that in mind, right? Like when you're doing these massive rips, at times less is more, unless the goal is to really, really go for it, because this really seems to unlock so much of the potential with these ball vapes. Like it really takes it all to the next level. So this has just been a really fun way to use these injector vapes and to get that next level experience, right? You could just simply heat that glass bowl by rotating it with your torch. You don't even have to go out and get anything special except a torch. When you're heating it, handle it from the bottom part, right where the ground edge is. Try and hold that because it just seems to, there's a different heat transfer there. So keep your fingers as close to that as possible when moving it around and putting it in the bong and heating it. You can also just drop it right in your bong, right, and move your hand around and heat the bowl. That also works really, really well, and then you're not handling it, and then you can leave it in there, especially if you can just pull the plug out like that. So those are all fun little things that you can do to get these hybrid rips. So I just thought we'd have a good time, have a session, and walk through what I'm doing. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and got something out of it. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time, take care.